my understanding that tonight would be a Minecraft night.
Yeah, I was about to say, because the idea that we have is that we can start like a kind of like a podcast series, I guess, where we'll have a subject that we both talk about, and it'll just kind of be something like that we do in Minecraft, so people have something to listen to while they're watching, other than just us going, where do I put this block? I don't know where to put this block.
I have no clue what I'm doing.
I'm gonna put this block here, and then I'm gonna go to Starbucks. Jesus Christ, Ashton, I didn't think it was that funny. Holy shit. Oh my god. Jesus fucking Christ. Like, I know I did that a little too well, but holy fuck.
Oh gosh.
Well, at least I got you to laugh. That's always good.
Oh gosh. I cannot even tell you how much I just needed that. Oh.
Let's see. It wasn't even that funny. I was just being a salty, jealous bitch.
Oh, but that's exactly why it was funny, because it was just the voice.
So when we go out for seafood and you order a mahi mahi, can I only get one mahi because I'm on a diet?
Sure, we can make a mahi. Not mahi mahi.
I don't want a mahi mahi. I just want a mahi because I'm on a diet. I can only have one mahi.
Okay. Well, in that case, if we're just gonna get one, can we go from a mahi to a mahi?
No.
Well, shit.
So anyway, the idea that I had for the first episode that we would do is why we sort of stopped playing Magic the Gathering, since we're doing a Magic the Gathering theme down here.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And I kind of, it doesn't need to be like a top 10 or anything, it's just reasons that, we kind of sort of stopped, why we stopped playing, and, the not necessarily the events, but like the things people were doing that, the way Blizzard, or not Blizzard, what am I talking about? Wizards of the Coast was, taking the things with Magic, because I was gonna be like, because obviously, like, the first reason is just, our interests change, it's just as simple as that, we develop and invest ourselves in different hobbies and different kinds of, ways to pass the time and whatnot, and it's just as simple as that, it's just, you get to, it's like any game, you play it long enough and you're going to want to stop to do something else, and, unfortunately for Magic, it was just like that, except there was a bunch of other, at least in my opinion, a bunch of other things that kind of, sort of, was the straw that broke the camel's back, sort of say. And kind of the second reason for it, at least for me, and feel free to add in any input here, it's not just me talking, it's for both of us, but it's whenever I went to a Friday Night Magic, especially for constructed formats like Standard, Modern, EDH, it was all the exact same deck over and over and over again. You get to the point where it's just like, I know, every single card that's in your deck. I know every single card that's in your hand. I know how you're going to play every single card. It's just, when I play a game, I don't want to know absolutely everything my opponent's doing. That's just not fun to me. So
Yeah.
that's another big reason for it. And, it's just, it kind of ties into another reason I have, which is the there's just no originality in the decks. It's the same thing over and over again, and you face off against somebody that actually has like a unique deck, and they just get the absolute shit beat out of them, and then it's just disheartening because you spent time and effort and money, and you put a lot into building a deck, especially one that you didn't just copy from some top 5 result or whatever. You actually put a little bit of effort into your thought process for it, and then you just get blown out of the water every weekend. It's gonna be really disheartening, and it's just something that I can understand why a lot of players hate people who just net deck all the time. Unfortunately, in Magic, it's just one of those games where if you don't net deck, you might as well just not have showed up.
I agree.
Like, heck, even if the format or whatever, or the standard season or whatever it was, the set didn't support green-black, I basically played green-black anyway. That was just my thing. So,
yeah.
And like I said, if you have anything to say about it or have any experiences that you want to contribute into it, just feel free to, say, oh, hey, this is a main contributor for me and whatnot. I'm just kind of listing off just general things that, were problems I had with the game.
Well, my biggest beef with the game wasn't necessarily with the game itself. Mine was with players.
Oh, yes, definitely.
General.
There is, however, one thing that Wizards of the Coast actually did themselves that, at least for me, was a big contributing factor, and it's how they changed how they release the sets and how, like, what stuff stays standard and whatnot. Because it used to be you would have a new set and then 2 expansion sets for it. So let's say Innistrad, then Dark Ascension, and then Avacyn Restored, and then you'd have a core set, and then you'd have a core set, and then you'd have Ravnica, Gate Crash, and Dragon's Maze, and then that was your standard, But nowadays it's like they have one set, or they have one new set, and then one expansion, and then a core set, and then they just, they dropped that 3rd expansion, and, it just means that there's new cards that come out that you have to research and blah, blah, blah. If you have to practically memorize every new card that comes out if you want to be any good, and it's just like, for one, I just bought these cards 4 months ago, and now I can't play them because they're not standard anymore. It's just... That was just a big thing for me, was, again, you put a lot of hard work into making this deck, and next thing you know, you only get to play with it for, like, 3 or 4 months.
Yep, that was actually... card-wise, that was the only thing I really had against Magic, is that before I went to EDH, which... love it.
Oh, yeah.
I got sick and tired of all the money that I would soak into the game because, exactly as you say, you buy cards, you make a deck, but then, 6 months later, you need to replace some of the cards in the deck because it's no longer standard. And if you play out, like, on a Friday Night Magic or whatnot, and someone sees a card that, heaven forbid, you forgot to take it out.
Oh yeah, they immediately call you out on it, and then it's like, you're forced to forfeit. And it's just like, well...
Oh yeah, they bitch and moan the whole time, and it really kills it. So when I switched, I loved EDH because it's like, oh, this format lasts... there's only a list of things that are banned just because they're overpowered, and then anything else you can use, and then, it limited things, but at the same time, it also gave way to the other reason why I wanted to leave, and that's because people would have decks that were so broken and so overpowered that one turn for them lasted, and I shit you not, an hour and a half.
Oh yeah, especially one thing I was actually gonna the fuck was that? but
Oh,
whatever.
that's right. Are you on?
Yeah, I'm on. I've been digging for a while.
Okay.
But no,
I'm
so
gonna hop on over.
no, you're good. But anyway, what I was gonna transition to was that there really is no like grace period. No, not grace period. I'm trying to figure out what's a good word to use this for. The level curve or whatever, or like the learning curve for the prices on the cards just got insane. You know, it was just like, you know, you wanted a competitive deck. You know, it's like, oh, take out a small loan of, you know, $500-600 from a bank, and you know, and that's, you know, God forbid you're playing standard, you know, you only get to play with it for 6 months. But even then, if you played modern, EDH, God forbid fucking legacy, you'd have to freaking put a mortgage on your house to build a legacy deck. And it's just like, you know, oh, well, there's budget builds and whatnot. But if it's like, if you watch the videos, that's just like, oh, here's my budget build for Commander or whatever. At the end of every video, they're like, oh yeah, by the way, if you end up having money, here's the cards you actually should put in there. And it's like, it turns like a $25 deck into like a $250 deck, and you're just kind of like, I put 8 cards in there and it cost me $250 fucking dollars.
Yeah. Or the fact that cards became so expensive anyway.
Oh yeah, you know, it's just like,
my most expensive card right now is a Boundless Realms, and that thing cost me $45.
yeah, you know, I would have to go through my collection. I did sell a majority of the cards I had on there just because, you know, I wasn't playing the game anymore, and frankly, I could use the cash for something else. And, you know, just kind of going on through here, since we're talking about how expensive the cards themselves got, you know, you would go out to buy like a booster pack or a booster box or whatever, and you know, you spend anywhere between $5 to, you know, $110 or whatever after tax, and you open up your booster box and you value out everything, and it's like, oh, I made $32 after I spent, you know, $110. So, you know, that's a great feeling. You know, it's basically loot boxes before loot boxes existed.
Oh, and how, yeah.
You know, so you get, you
Oh,
know,
gosh.
you know, so it's like, you know, it's like, you know, a lot of people say like, oh, you know, don't buy the booster packs, just buy the singles that you need. Well, you know, it's like, you know, you have $5 at the shop, you know, you really want a card, and you're just like, you know what, fine, I'll come back next week, and that 5 will turn to 25, and then I can get the card I want. You know, and unless you're playing EDH, you know, you need, you know, 3 or 4 of the exact same card, and it's just like, you know, meanwhile, you're not playing standard or modern or anything because, you know, the card's gonna get banned or it's gonna rotate out of, you know, standard, and you can't play it anymore, and meanwhile, you're just sitting there watching everyone else play because you can't afford to play with the cards you want.
Right? Or when you try and play a game with a deck that you wanted to build, and then people just criticize the hell out of it because they feel it could be better, and they try and make suggestions for you, and you're like, no, this is how I built it, literally how I wanted to build it. I don't care if I lose
Like,
with it. I just wanted to build it.
There's a difference between, like, constructive criticism on a deck, like, hey, I understand you're really on a budget, and I know you might be partial to this card, but, you know, this card, you know, it's only like 25 cents a piece, and I feel like it would really improve. You know, that's something you can put forward. Don't go telling him that he needs to completely change out his mana base and be like, oh yeah, you need to get rid of these, lands that come into play tapped, and that tap for one either color. You need to get the shock lands or the fetch lands that cost $25 to $80 a piece. You know, it's like I could build the entire deck for the price of one shock land.
Right.
And that's another thing when it came down to the value of the cards was just the sheer amount of either dishonesty or thieving that went on. I mean, you go on to websites and different, you know, gaming forums on Magic the Gathering, and you're bound to see like hundreds of posts that are just like, oh, my deck was stolen, or my whole collection was stolen.
Oh, it's happened to me.
And thankfully I've never had anything stolen that I was at least aware of, and I thought, I could trust the people I was playing with, but, you hear horror stories all the time about kid that, spent his entire paycheck, getting the deck he wanted, and then he goes to the bathroom, and then next thing you know, it's gone.
Yep.
And, when it came to the dishonesty, the amount of people you hear that, even at, like, the pro levels, these people are supposed to be kind of setting an example to the game, and it's just like you find out that they were cheating in some way, and it's just like, come on, dude. I mean, I know you're playing for money and whatnot, but you're gonna get caught, that's just how it works.
Right.
Ugh. But yeah, and I guess another point I can make is just it felt like Magic was a more competitive game than what it needed to be.
Oh, yes, I agree.
Like, you would be sitting there from the guy across from you, and you would, you just try to strike up small talk with him, and, God forbid you ask how his day went, because, he just look at you, or, him looking at you was considered his social interaction for you. The only time he'd talk to you is when he was playing a card or doing something, I thought we were all here.
Magic was also a game for people who were generally socially introverted or just social awkward, so it was their way of, going out, and I do understand, like, you want to talk, but some people, like, what they ended up giving you was all that they were able to give you. Like, I don't really have a problem with the fact that you try and strike up a conversation. They wouldn't have anything to say just because maybe they didn't really know how to communicate.
Well,
but yeah, I do still agree with your point, though.
I do understand that, but there comes to a point where you need to be an adult. Like, for example, I remember a distinct guy that would go to the card shop every Friday night, and I would play against him every now and again, and, he's an older gentleman, looks like he was in his mid-40s and whatnot, and he brought his, what looked like, like a 5-year-old kid with him, and, in the middle of the game store, the kid wants to look at the figurines, the kid wants to look at, the video games and whatnot, but God forbid this kid ever leave his dad's side and just watch him play this card game that he didn't even know anything about, or vice versa. They get their kid to try to play the game, and you're playing against the kid because the kid's in the tournament and not the dad, but the dad's just standing over the kid's shoulder and basically correcting everything that the kid does. It's like, does the kid even want to play, or are you just doing this for him?
Right.
And it's just when I played EDH, especially with you guys, like Andrew and you and Adrian and whoever came over that night to play, I kind of felt bad because it was just like, I wanted to let people play, but it's just like, just for like an example, somebody would have like hundreds of mana just laying around or whatever, and they're casting big stuff left and right, and meanwhile I'm sitting there with a handful of counter spells, but I don't want to be a dick. That's probably like the first time this person has ever been able to cast that card and not have it be immediately killed or countered or something, so I'm just like, yeah, go right ahead, play it. I understand the feeling of, you finally being able to cast something that you really enjoy. You put it in that deck for a specific reason, and the moment it hits the table, it gets immediately destroyed or taken away, or somebody does something to it. It can never just let it be.
Fair enough. And however, a counter to that is that, I mean, if you go, or at least if I go into, regardless of the deck that I'm playing, if I go into a match with someone who has blue in their deck, that is simply the risk I run, that it will be cancelled. And while it is, yes, nice to play a card that I've been like super hyped about, or I finally got everything for it, again, like, yes, it's frustrating, but it's just part of what could happen. And
Yeah,
I'm not gonna fault someone for simply using the deck to win, because that's the main point of the game, is to win.
Yeah, it's just, I guess when it comes down to it, you know, it's just, I want my friends to, you know, have fun with it too, because to be frankly honest, a problem I had with Magic was that I wanted to play with my friends, not against my friends. I just didn't want to be the asshole that countered everything, or, you know, because if you ever noticed when we played, I hardly ever attacked anybody unless it was like turn 110 or whatever, and we just wanted to end the game. I just wanted to see how far my deck would go, like how many cards I could draw, how many, you know, dumb creatures I can have out on the field, you know, how many zombie tokens can I create this turn. That's basically all I wanted to do.
I was literally about to say, I seem to recall a match with you where you summoned a crap ton of zombies, and yeah, that wasn't you just seeing how far things went. That was you like, I'm about to murder you.
I'm not saying I was perfect with it. You know, I had my, you know, kill everything moments too. But, you know,
though, if you remember that match, I tried to use the black gem zombie that would have killed both of us instantaneously, and you just immediately sacked all your zombies.
Oh yeah.
Turned them into mana, and then drew cards, and then came back and killed me again.
No, it was
Oh, yeah,
I'm trying to remember.
Polluter.
Yeah, so I was trying to remember what it was, because I sacrificed them to something, and
Phyrexian Altar.
Yeah, I sacrificed them to Phyrexian Altar, and I had, God, I'm trying to remember what that card was called. It's like whenever a creature of yours dies, every other opponent has to sacrifice a creature.
Yep, you sacked all yours, I had to sack all mine, and then you had all that extra energy, and you just brought everything back.
Yeah, I just used all that mana to cast, like, God, what was that? It's been so long. What was that?
I know.
That big black spell that was just like all creatures from all graveyards come into play under your control?
I think it was Liliana's, a Liliana spell. I think it was,
Yeah, it definitely had Liliana on it, but...
Because the spell's name was based off of one of her titles. Oh, yeah. Rise of the Dark Realms.
Yeah, Rise of the Dark Realms, that's...
Yeah, we had to sacrifice everything, and then your turn, because I tried to use Gem Palm Polluter on your turn, but then you sacked everything, and then you just played Rise of the Dark Realms, brought everything back, and then I couldn't do anything, and so I just scooped, because I was screwed.
I did have a lot of fun moments with Magic, and maybe down the road I'll be able to play it again, but the second time around, if I do get to a point where I want to play it again, I'm going to be a lot more skeptical with how I spend my money on it and how I play the game. I'm going to be a lot more casual with it.
Well, I decided I don't think I'll ever get back into the game. I follow the game for the lore and for the story.
Oh yeah, like
creative reasons why I love the game in the first place, but I don't think I'll ever play it again, mainly because, again, like with where I live, there's no one that lives near me that I'd be able to play with on a average enough basis for me to feel like it was really worth it.
Yeah, that's also true. Is you know, our play group just kept getting kind of smaller and smaller and smaller with it, and you know, it just kind of got to the point where it's just like, you know, the decks just started collecting dust on the shelf.
Yeah, or like I couldn't visit very often, so because I very rarely was ever there, you know, I also just didn't play that much. And then there'd be so many times where I just came up because I just wanted to come and visit that I would forget my cards, and then like, well, guess I'm not playing.
Yeah, It was fun while it lasted. I think it's just still fun that, you know, I still watch like the cinematic intros for all the new sets and
Oh,
you know,
I always watch the cinematic intros. Those are freaking amazing.
you know, I still, you know, read all the flavor texts on, you know, some of the new cards and whatnot, you know, just because you could tell like a lot of time, effort, and whatnot went to making these cards. It's just, you know, unfortunately, it's just tied to a game that, unfortunately, just isn't in the bill to be played anymore.
Yeah. But life continues on. I mean, we progress, we change, we evolve.
Yep.
There's so much shit that needs to be done.
Like in terms of the room here.
Yeah, this is a giant ass.
Hey,
I didn't realize
we at least cleared out. We at least cleared out the ground floor, though. I mean, that's all the way to the side there.
True, but still, it's like holy shit. Like putting in like the size of the ceiling.
It is. I will admit, it is a little ambitious.
Yes, which is why I said I think I might actually section off the room into 4 quadrants and then make those quadrants the gates, and move from there. But
I was about to say, or I could just use a bunch of dynamite.
Let's blow shit up.
All right, your character was staring at me, and you were completely silent. So I just thought you were like, "Oh God, Dylan with explosives."
Well, you know, first of all, no real big surprise there. Up. Okay, explosives. Redstone, where are you?
I already got it. I just got the TNT and the flint.
Oh, I got a redstone. Yeah! Oh, and since we have obsidian on the floor, it's not going to be destroyed as easy.
Yeah, I just...
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I know. I'm having fun with it.
Do it. This is a lot better than just... Yeah, it would be it's a lot easier to just,
Ooh, that one had some base to it. Hey, we killed something!
Oh, nice.
I found a bit of experience. We killed something. Alright, I am going to make a core in this bedrock here. And I'm going to fill it up with explosives.
Oh gosh.
It's working! It's working! This is a lot more entertaining than just digging.
Right? I am a dwarf and I'm digging a hole.
Diggy diggy hole, diggy diggy hole.
I am a dwarf and I'm blowing shit up.
Oh my goodness, what the hell happened? There's just so much shit on the floor now. I got TNT. Boom! Sound like Marvin the Martian there. Boom!
Oh my! Shit's exploding, y'all.
Shit's exploding, y'all.
Yeah, this is a shit ton more entertaining than just digging.
I was about to say, I think you may... Oh, no, wait, you're good. You're good. It's just, we need some explodey bits.
Okay. I am going to, since progress is going to move a lot faster with the TNT, I'm going to start putting
What the
in the
fuck
wall.
is that? I keep hearing these weird fucking noises and it's creeping me the fuck out.
It's probably my TV.
Oh. Your TV makes weird noises and it's scaring me.
Yeah, chill out, yo. Okay, obsidian. Oh gosh.
Don't worry, it's just me exploding things.
You exploding things? Okay. I'm gonna work on the wall, and I'll leave you to work on everything else.
My goal is to crash the game.
Oh, I've done that before.
What, with explosions?
Yes.
I mean, just look at the side of the wall right here to behind you.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
Bye-bye!
Oh, well, goodbye, server.
Woo!
Okay, so yeah, you do that. I'm going to put in the wall, so, you know, we have an idea of our limitations.
If you put a block on everywhere that you can fit a TNT block, it'll just make everything go away.
Oh, dude, I just had a great idea. Let's build a building completely out of TNT. And then explode it.
That we'll have to add that to the queue of,
I know, shit we're gonna build, but still. Like, I think it'd just be funny as hell just to build that for, for just the shit of it.
Just
like,
build like a...
this giant castle fully out of TNT.
Oh god,
like, we can put in a flower garden and like a, you know, a moat and whatnot, but like everything is literally just TNT.
This block of TNT is the library, and this block of TNT is the quarry. There's literally hundreds of blocks of TNT on this thing. Ashton, I don't know if this is a good idea at this.
There are no bad ideas. Just not so good ideas.
There are no bad ideas, only great results.
Yeah, only results. And it just determines if the results we got is really what we should have had.
Cause you see this big huge booger of a brick just hanging from the building in the center here?
Oh gosh, oh my mother of all tar.
It is all the way...
mother of... Yeah, I see. Scientists were... Dylan was so busy on how he could do this, he forgot to ask the universe
why
if he should do this. And it was at this moment that Ashton realized he kind of should have maybe not have told Dylan to do this, but whatever.
Bye-bye!
There's no use squirting the milk up back up the
Bye-bye!
butter once.
It worked! We got a leak! Ashton, we sprung a leak!
Oh gosh.
We sprung a leak! Plug it!
Just putting it gently. Does it
Plug
go?
it.
Hold on. I want to see if it goes anywhere. Oh, yeah, it goes right here. And I plug it with a with a torch. Shit! I started. Fuck.
Holy shit. We sprung a leak worse than my... I'm not gonna finish that joke. I'm not gonna finish that joke.
Yeah, good, wise idea. Anyway, back to the
because
wall.
I respect my mother too much.
Oh dear.
I was about to say, I can finish off the rest of this airborne stuff by just whacking it.
Oh no, do blow it up. That's actually a lot faster than going through by hand and you know, whacking it.
I'm gonna build a trail.
As long as it's not the Oregon Trail, I'm fine with this.
Oh God, I remember that.
I don't want to die of dysentery.
Ashton, you need to ford the creek. You need to ford the river.
I'd rather hug a bear. I'd rather hug a cactus bear. Actually.
Ashton, this looks like a nice resting place.
Oh gosh. As long as you don't, well, actually, you know what? Go ahead and break the staircase. It's made of obsidian. So, see.
I broke it!
No, you didn't. The staircase is literally made of obsidian.
No, I mean I broke the rest of the floor.
Oh, fuck you.
Oh, I broke. Look how much shit that's cleared away. Holy fuck.
See, this is why it's a good idea.
Like, look behind you. Look how much shit we cleared away in a matter of minutes.
I know, it's nice. I just need to put torches fucking everywhere, because obsidian's not exactly the most
reflective material.
Reflective material ever. So, yeah.
I can't see shit.
Welcome to my life.
Because you need to wear glasses. Forgive me, Father, I have sinned. I ate Chick-fil-A during Pride Month.
Oh gosh. I don't think that one can be forgiven. I think you're screwed.
I mean, fuck, I'm not gonna deny that delicious crispy chicken.
And there with the stairs again. Gosh damn it.
It's not my fault. The thing literally jumped out of the wall and decided that it just wanted to be a part of me.
You see this hole? This is why we can't have nice fucking things, Dylan.
Holy shit, I cannot break the floor.
Yeah, that's why I decided to keep the floor with obsidian, because the TNT won't destroy it. So at least for the time being, yes, the floor is obsidian. Because then you can use your TNT with reckless abandon. And I have the walls. So, yeah, as long as we have the walls, we know where it's going.
Ashton, alright, so come to the Golgari block, and I just want to show you what I'm going to be doing with this.
Oh, father of mother of... So, I have a suggestion for you, Dylan.
What?
Dylan, stop.
What?
How fast can you plant TNT?
As fast as my character can move.
Can you see, Dylan? Can you see me?
Yes.
Get to work.
Sorry, I was laughing.
Oh my gosh! Oh, that was great! Oh, 10 out of 10 would do it again! Oh, we blew up this whole hole! Oh my gosh, look at what we did!
My screaming made Colby and Brittany run down the stairs.
Oh gosh, look at what we did!
Because Ashton lit TNT and then ran after me. Where are... I guess this is the
Dylan,
wall.
Dylan,
there.
come here! Dylan, come here! This is the corner. Look at what we did. Oh my gosh.